Assalamu alaikum. I thought I should make a quick video of how you are breaking your own heart. Dun. The reason being is because I genuinely feel like there's a lot of you who are constantly breaking their own heart, and I thought I should make a video just to save you from a bit of that, save you from a bit of pain and conflict that will literally add zero benefit to your life. You don't gain anything from constantly hurting yourself. You don't at all. A matter of fact, I think you take so much away from you, and you don't deserve that. You deserve so much better than that. And the first thing that I came to is that you constantly break your heart, and you do this quite a lot by keep giving people chances over and over again who constantly fail to show up for you. You keep giving people chances who constantly fail to repair your relationship. You constantly give people chances over and over again who have constantly betrayed you. You constantly keep giving people chances over and over again to those people who don't add value to your life. You constantly give chances to some people who you know that if it was the other way around, they would have gave you zero chances. And you know, with these people who you constantly give chances to, your role in their life is valuable. Like the role you play in their life has so much value. I can't express how valuable your role is in their life. But when you take a step back and you look at their role in your life, it's valueless. They add nothing to your life. Nothing they will ever do will make you feel seen, or maybe it would, but they will never do it. They will never play the role that has a value in it. They're never going to do that. And if you keep giving people chance over and over again who continuously fail you or fail to repair the relationship that is with you, or fail to put in as much as you put into that relationship, you're just going to end up exhausting. And your heart is going to constantly ache, and your heart is going to constantly yearn, and your heart is going to constantly feel like there's something missing. So just have a think about that. There's another way where you break people's hearts. There's another way where you allow people to break your heart, or perhaps you do it yourself. You break your own heart. It's by putting people on a pedestal. And by that I mean you put people on this pedestal thinking that they will never hurt you, or they will never disappoint you, or they will never do you wrong, and you know, anybody but them. Whilst you forget that everybody can disappoint you, everybody can hurt you, everybody can fail you, and that's just human relationships. It's very human of somebody to disappoint you. It's very human of somebody to do you wrong. It's very human of people to fail you. It's very human of people not to meet you where you want to be met. It's very human for your mic to just go the other way. It happens. Nobody should be put on a pedestal. And I think this also goes to a very long extent to your parents as well. If your parents can hurt you, and you know damn right they can, so can everybody else that would walk on the face of this earth. Everybody can hurt you. Everybody can disappoint you. Your mom and dad disappointed you. Let's be honest, they have. I mean, my dad walked away, so that's a different disappointment. But I can remember a few instances where my mom disappointed me, where my mom failed to show up for me, where my mom did me wrong. It's a human. And I know that one day when I become a parent, I will disappoint my child, I would fail them, and I would do wrong for them. I'll try not to, but it's a human nature. So you should never put anybody on a pedestal, because they won't be able to maintain this godly complex that you have created for them. And that could put such a strain on your relationship with them. To not see those people as human beings can put a strain on your relationship with them. And the second that they do something that is out of line, you're going to crumble and you'll lose it all, and it will knock your confidence, it will knock your self-esteem, you'll feel some type of way, and the only one to blame is you. Because I don't know what made you forget that those people that you put on a pedestal are practically just human beings. So nobody should be put on a pedestal. Another way you break your own heart is sacrificing things that are very important to you, which will end up making you lose yourself, just to fit into somebody's life. And when I say this, you might think of a relationship. I'm talking about a relationship in any form. Sacrificing anything that is important to you just to fit into somebody else's life is one of the most tragic ways you could ever break your heart. Because 99% of the time, whatever you're sacrificing is the main thing that makes you who you are. And if you take away what makes you who you are, you'll wake up one day not just only disliking that person, not just only disliking yourself and the skin that you're in, but you're going to dislike everything about life. You're going to struggle. It's the worst form of heartbreak you could ever put yourself through, is to put hold onto something to see someone else succeed, or to give the best part of you up just to fit into somebody else's life. And sometimes the reason we do that is because we want to reduce our size so that somebody else can feel greater, so that somebody else can feel better. But what you're not realizing that in that process is that you're going to end up losing yourself. And one thing about losing yourself, it's so hard to bring yourself back to that stage again. It takes so much effort. So don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Another way of breaking your own heart is you ignore to set boundaries. You think it's okay to live a life without boundaries, where you set lines that people cannot cross, and you think it's okay not to have those boundaries. And you do this, the main reason why you do this is because you want everybody else to be comfortable. You want everybody else to be comfortable with who you are as a person, except yourself. And what I mean by that is, when you don't have boundaries, you believe that you're more approachable. You believe that you become more friendly. You believe that people are going to like you more. You believe that people are not going to have an ill thought about you or negative opinions. But that's not the case. When you don't have boundaries, you come across as a weak individual, as somebody who is insecure, as somebody who hasn't got it together, as somebody who is not confident, as somebody who's a doormat. You become a doormat. And if I sat here and I called you a doormat, if I looked at you in the eye and said, hey, doormat, or I said to you, hey, you are a doormat, it will absolutely break your heart. It will shatter your confidence. It will make you probably lose sleep at night. Because if I ever had the guts to say that to you, it's because it's true. And even the word itself is offensive. So don't let somebody say it to you. Don't let somebody spell that out for you. But if you are a doormat, tell me again you're not breaking your own heart for the sake of others. Just so everybody else is comfortable with who you are, but you're not. Another way you can break your own heart is by frequently asking questions and invalidating your inexperiences, needs, thinking you're too much. You just think you're too much. You just think you're too much because your whole life you had somebody, specifically a guy, say to you, oh, it's not you, it's me. Oh, you're just a bit too much. Or don't you think that's too much? You got labelled too much sometimes, pretty young, and thought, yeah, I'm too much. See, the thing is, when you're asking too much questions about your experiences or about how you feel, usually you end up speaking to the wrong crowd, and they make you believe that you're asking the wrong questions. So you leave those conversations feeling, oh my God, that was too much. Oh my God, I'm too much. Oh, I get it when they said I'm too much, because it is too much. But what you don't realize is that the only reason why you're asking so much questions is because whatever you've experienced was probably rare, probably traumatic, or has an everlasting kind of imprint. But when you ask people so many questions, you start to go in a state where you want whatever they're going to say next to validate your thinking, to validate how you feel, to validate your experiences. But you don't need that. You don't need that, because the truth is, nobody's ever going to validate how you feel. Nobody's ever going to validate your experiences. Nobody's ever going to make you feel or say those things that you want to say, that you want to hear. No one's ever going to say the right things. Nobody's ever going to make you feel exactly how you want them to make you feel with their words, because they don't know what to say to you. Majority of your experiences as a human being is very rare and very individual. So when you're asking too many questions, you're never going to get met with the same answers that you desire. Hence why you start to feel like you're too much and the conversation was too much. So don't seek validations of your feelings, emotions, your experiences through people who have never walked a mile in your shoes. You're so much greater than, because when you allow people to validate your experiences, you'll come to realize that nobody will ever validate them. And you'll break your heart time and time again when you don't hear them say exactly what you want to hear. And this is another way you can break your heart, and this is for the girls who struggle with the concept of love and it possibly happening to them. You break your heart constantly by telling yourself that you do not deserve or you're not capable of getting a healthy love. Hence why you set off for the toxic ones. Hence why you seek love in situations that you know love doesn't bloom. So if you're a girl who struggles with love, the first thing I need you to do is not to look for them in places where you know love does not exist, where you know even if there was a slither of love in this place, if it's toxic, it's not going to grow. And if it grows, only the toxicity in it grows. And start telling yourself that you are capable. You are capable and you are deserving of every single possible romance story you have ever read. You're literally deserving of every single form of healthy love you have ever heard somebody tell you they have. Because what's stopping you? What is preventing you? What is preventing you from getting that healthy love that you desire? Do you want to know what it could possibly be that's stopping you? It's your mind. It's yourself. Because the first thing of anything possibly happening to you that is good is your mind accepting that it will happen to you. Your mind is more powerful than you think it is. And that's why we have also got a concept in Islam where we literally say, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, I am what my servant thinks of me. Indicating that whatever you think has a possibility of blossoming, has a possibility of existing. So if that means you constantly tell yourself day in, day night, I'm deserving of that form of love, then that's what you got to do, baby girl. Another way you constantly break your own heart is by going back to the same places, the same people, the same conditions that have hurt you, disrespected you, made you feel unwell, gave you negative experiences, gave you negative emotions. When you know those things will never change, you're constantly going back to situations, environments that have never changed, expecting a different outcome. How can you possibly expect a different outcome when nothing in the environment has ever changed? Those individuals have never changed. Those relationships have never changed. Those situationships, those environments have never changed. That job situation hasn't changed. If it hasn't changed, the outcome will most definitely, 99.9%, be exactly the same. And if you continuously go back to these environments, you're going to continuously break your heart because your experiences are going to be limited to those negative, to those valuableless, to those not so thrilling outcomes. You're just limiting yourself to constant fatigue, constant exhaustion, constant negativity, constant trauma, constant bad vibe, constant negativity. That's what you're limiting yourself to. And with that, you keep going to break your heart over and over again because you have this hope that the situation is going to be different when you know it's never going to be different. And the last thing that you could possibly be doing to break your own heart is by shaming yourself constantly for behaviors that allowed you to survive or once kept you alive. Everybody has different form of coping mechanisms, and whatever it took for you to heal yourself, you shouldn't shame yourself for. And if you ever done things to survive, and you're looking back at it and you think, I shouldn't have done that because it made Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala angry, then make tawbah, seek repentance. But once you have done that, once you have asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you, be kind to yourself enough to let go and not go back at it again. But don't carry the weight of a sin after you have sought for forgiveness, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives everything. That being said, I hope nothing but healing and love for you. I hope you found this video beneficial, and inshallah I'll see you next one. Please like, subscribe, comment, share these videos if you can. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos, please do. I create these videos for you to watch, inshallah. So good night, well, good day.